What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the AI Marketing Navigator. This is your daily compass in the ever-evolving world of AI marketing. Okay, so we are back today with another AI tool highlight for you, navigators. Today I'm going to do a little bit of an overview of Microsoft Designer. And this is going to be pretty comparable to tools like Canva or Adobe Express in that it's a cloud-based or software-based graphic design tool. And much like Canva and Adobe Express, its main pitch to users is that it is easy to use and intuitive, and you do not need to be an experienced graphic designer. I know I am certainly not. I typically like to use Canva for the graphic designing that I do. I've been a Canva user for a long time, but I am assuming that there are many Microsoft 365 users out there. I know there are. I've also been in that environment throughout the years. And in that case, I want to make sure to cover this tool. So I'm just going to check out some of the features here in Microsoft Designer and see how they compare to Canva. So as I said, the tool is all about enabling non-designers, small business owners, freelance marketers, like many of us navigators out there. It's trying to be easy to use and time saving, and it's giving you access to lots of professional grade templates and layouts, much like Canva does, allowing for your designs to look really sharp and professional, high quality. Especially if you are a beginner graphic designer like me. So it looks like this tool was first revealed actually or announced back in 2022, but it initially launched back in April of 2023. And it recently has gotten some more AI upgrades and improvements. It's using OpenAI technology as well as DALL-E for the image generation. And it sounds like the hope was kind of to take on Canva by utilizing those AI features and kind of boost the product past Canva. But I'm not really seeing that, as Canva also has AI features that are very similar and pretty capable as well. So I don't really see that happening as far as Microsoft Designer taking over Canva. But we got to be educated about the alternatives out there. And so I definitely, like I said, felt the need to cover Designer here in an episode. Another cool aspect of Designer is that it's going to integrate across your Microsoft 365 apps. And that's another reason why I thought it was important to talk about. So if you're working within Microsoft Word or Microsoft PowerPoint, you're going to have the design capability of Designer, specifically with AI generative capabilities in those Microsoft apps. Along with that integration, there's also, along with just the basic Microsoft Designer, there's also Microsoft Copilot, which is their actual AI tool. And I think we'll maybe have to do an entire episode on Copilot. But there are some pretty standard features in the Designer tool, things like creating images, using a generative AI model to do text to image generation. You can create stickers, greeting cards, invitations, collages. So on the face on their tool here, it's kind of geared towards non-graphic design users who are maybe creating graphic assets for social situations or their social life. But there are some pretty strictly marketing use cases when we get into the tool, obviously. And anytime someone makes graphic design easier and more accessible, it opens up a avenue for us marketers to hopefully use and take advantage of. So before we hop into the tool and check it out a little bit, I just want to go over the pricing real quick. It's actually included with a subscription to Microsoft 365. So if you're on the business plans or the business subscriptions, looks like they start, if you're paying monthly, at about $7.20 per user per month, up to $9.90 per user per month. But you're going to get access to the Designer with that. There is a free version of the tool that has some of the limited features and capabilities, and that's what we're going to check out today. Okay, for those of you watching on your screen, I am going to go ahead and share my tab here, and you can check out the interface a little bit. Okay, so for those of you watching on video, I have just hopped over into the Microsoft Designer interface. You can see on my screen now that we have our Designer portal open. Right off the bat, it's asking us to tell it what we want to design. So basically, there's a very intuitive text input bar here that you can just prompt right away with what you need. And I'm seeing that trend in all of these tools, and most of these tools that we're covering. We're moving towards a user interface where we just simply ask the tool or ask an AI agent to do a task for us instead of having to select an option or navigate through a tool. It's just becoming more and more conversational, and I think it's going to continue along that path. So I think what I'll do is just kind of skim through the product features here and see if they line up with what we can do in Canva. Your three default options below that search or prompt bar are to create with AI, edit with AI, or design from scratch. So of course you can create images. I mentioned before you could create like greeting cards and invitations, but in a more marketing focused lens, you can also create social posts, stickers, avatars are also in this little slide menu here for things that you can create. You can create clip art for your prints or your digital assets, all sorts of stuff here in the designer tool. But it's under the edit with AI option that I found most of the features that I would use or find useful. And it looks like they do compare and line up pretty well to the features in Canva. Obviously, like I said, I'm a Canva power user, so I'm very familiar with that tool. I don't think I'm going to be switching uh, because of what we see here. But if I was working in the 365 environment or the Microsoft Office environment, I would definitely consider using Designer. And obviously having it embedded or added onto those other 365 apps would be incredibly useful. But it is under that Edit with AI tab where we find things like editing an image, so like a basic editor or an image editor, or removing a background, which is something I do all the time in Canva. You can completely restyle an image. So you can take an existing image and change it to like a cartoon or like a claymation style. Looks like there's a feature here called generative erase, which essentially is going to allow you to erase items from the image and then is going to fill in the space that was erased with the appropriate filler content based on the rest of the image. It's going to complete that image. So we're seeing a lot of image expansion and kind of image replacement generative AI throughout these tools as well. And then also once you get into the image editing, it looks like they also have a feature for blurring the background of an image. So these are all features that I think would be incredibly useful when quickly editing image assets or website assets or campaign assets for sure. Especially if, again, you are a Microsoft 365 user. For anyone who does use Canva, the user interface and the user experience should be very similar and will feel very familiar to you. But my final say is that there is nothing super groundbreaking here that would make me switch from the tool I was using, but I still wanted to cover it because if you are, like I said, a Microsoft 365 user, then having this new AI design tool in your toolbox would definitely be helpful. And again, even if you are using Canva or Adobe, but you have a Microsoft application that you run frequently, like you're in Word or PowerPoint, having this available natively in those apps is going to be a game changer as well. Okay, so that does it for today's episode. If you enjoyed the show or you found it useful in any way, please do me a favor and follow on Spotify or subscribe on your podcast platform of choice. A review on top of that would be even more helpful and super, super impactful to the show. So as always, until next time, thanks for joining me, and remember to stay curious, stay consistent, and keep navigating forward. Bye.